Hi everyone, I'm back by myself. I thought I would do a video about how to be productive when you work from home. It's something that I've kind of gotten into a groove with now, but it was really hard when I started. So the first thing I have on my list is to set an alarm. But it's important to note that you should know when you're the most productive. So if you're a night person and you're able to, you should do your work at night. I am a morning person, so I set an alarm and I get up in the morning. I also think it's important to eat a good breakfast, so I always do that. The biggest thing that I would say is that I have to get dressed and get ready for the day. So I don't dress up for work every day, although I do sometimes, but I definitely get dressed. So sometimes that just means leggings and a comfortable shirt like what I'm wearing today, and sometimes I do look a little nicer. It just depends on how I'm feeling, but that kind of helps me get in the headspace for work. Another thing that really helps to get in the headspace of work is to have a delineated space for working. So if you saw my last work from home video, I'll link that down below. But I have a space. It's not ideal. Hopefully it will be better when we move, but I work in our storage room right now, so I'm hoping once we move that space is going to be better. But just having that space where I don't do anything else, obviously I'm not hanging out in the storage room normally, that kind of helps get me in the right space. Or you could get out of the house. Every once in a while I'll go to a cafe to work. I find that really helpful. I don't know why, but sometimes just a change of scenery away from your house kind of helps you get into the groove. So go to a cafe, a library, a restaurant, something to kind of get you out of your space every once in a while. Another thing that's really helpful is to not have your phone on you. I know you're at home and you're working, and maybe some of your work is on your phone. That can be really challenging, but I try to keep my phone on the other side of the room, so it's still accessible if someone needs to get a hold of me, but it's not tempting to pick up and just scroll through a feed. So I try to keep it not within arm's reach, but still accessible. Another thing that I find super helpful is to make a schedule. So get a planner or a calendar and write it down. I use an online calendar. Google's calendar is really good. For one of my jobs, we use Outlook, so for that job specifically, I use the Outlook calendar. But I find that it's good to kind of get your schedule down. That way you know what you're doing, and if you're not doing it, you know that you should be doing it. And one of the things that I've struggled with is that it's easy to go over the number of hours that you're meant to be working. I know a lot of people would think it'd be easy to slack off, and maybe that's the case for some people, but my mentality is such that it's easy for me to go over my hours and then not essentially bill for those hours. So just keep to your schedule, and that will keep you from going over hours or going under hours. It's also helpful to set a timer for breaks just to get up. I work on a computer, so I set an alarm and I get up and I just walk away, even if it's just to get another cup of tea or to take 5 minutes and look at the mountains, whatever. And then that's also helpful if you set a timer. If you have a particular job where you have a certain task where you need to spend a certain amount of time on that task, set a timer. That way you won't go under, you won't go over, and you'll know exactly the number of hours that you worked. Another thing that can be challenging is to create boundaries. It's easy when you work from home to make exceptions for things. Maybe your friends know that you work from home, and so they just pop over when you're meant to be working. that can be really hard. So try to set boundaries with your friends and family so that they wouldn't just pop into your office if you were working in the office. So try to keep that the same. Even if you have a flexible schedule, I do. I have 2 jobs, both are very flexible. Try to stick with your schedule. So I've found for one of my jobs in particular, I just have deadlines. So it's really easy to not do that particular job on the day that it's assigned to me because I have a certain number of days to get it done. So I like to do that job in the morning, and I found that if I push it off into the afternoon time, I don't particularly want to do it in the afternoon. So then it'll just be there the next day. So that's bad, then I'm behind, then I have more work to do the next day. So even if you have a flexible schedule, try to stick to it. So that's what I have. If you're interested in having me do like what my day looks like when I work from home, let me know down below. It's going to be different for everyone, so it's really challenging when you first start. So stick to your guns and just get it done. So I will see you in the next video.